Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. This is your instructor Zia Hamid. I welcome you to English grade 7 video lessons. So as you know that we are dealing with unit number 1 first of all, and this will be our introductory lecture for unit number 1. So let's see, the title is The Last Sermons of Nabi Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So let's see the theme. The theme that we have is about ethics and values, and the sub-theme is respect for rule and law. So as you have read the lecture, you have read the text of the lesson, you can easily resonate these themes with the text. So now we have so many different SLOs to address in this lesson, in this unit. So let's begin, but before that let's take a quick overview of unit number 1. So in this unit we learned that Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave a really important speech during his last Hajj. He talked about treating everyone with respect and fairness. He said that all Muslims should be kind to each other and not hurt anyone. He also said that men and women should be treated equally and with kindness. He reminded people to worship God and be good to others. He told them that nobody is better than anyone else except by being good and kind. He also said that after him there won't be any new prophets or religions. He left behind the Quran and his teachings for people to follow. At the end, he asked if he had delivered Allah's message well, and everyone agreed that he did. So this was a quick overview of that unit number 1 that we read, and now let's begin by understanding our SLOs. For lecture number 1, we have the topic of article. Our lecture number 1 is divided into 4 lectures further, A, B, C and D. In lecture number 1A, the topic will be about articles, and we will be studying the SLO, or students learning outcome, which says use of articles correctly in speech and writing. So in this SLO, it is very clear that we will talk about articles and how we can use them in both our speech and in our writing. So moving on, next we have lecture 1B. It will be about compound nouns, or rather I'd say converting compound nouns into their pluralized form. So in this one, the SLO that we will deal with is about change compound nouns in plural form. For example, babysitter, babysitters. This is given as an example in the SLO. So it's very easy and simple, and such an interesting lecture that we will cover. We will see that how the compound nouns can be pluralized. Now moving further, for lecture number 1C, we have the topic of gender nouns. So let's read our SLO. It says use specific words for genders and gender neutral terms where needed. So you know that the names, the nouns, they have different genders. Some are masculine, some are feminine, and some are having no gender at all. We call them gender neutrals, and also another term that we have for neuter nouns. So in this lecture we will be dealing with gender nouns in general. Next we have lecture 1D. The topic is punctuation, and the SLO says punctuate paragraphs and longer pieces of text correctly using capitalization, parentheses, exclamation marks, full stops, apostrophes, commas and semicolons. We will also see hyphens, dashes and quotation marks. So we will cover different kind of punctuation marks and also rules for capitalization. Now we are on lecture number 2. The topic is parts of speech through abbreviation. So what do we understand by this? Let us read our students learning outcome. In this lesson, the SLO is use dictionary or thesaurus to identify the part of speech of a word through abbreviation used. This will require a dictionary or any other reference material. We will see that how we can, whenever we are looking for any word in the dictionary or any other reference material with the definition, we also have an indication of the part of speech that word belongs to. For example, if it's a noun, then an N will be displayed, and so on. So this will be very interesting. That will help you identify the part of speech in abbreviation forms and in different reference materials. Now next we have our lecture 3, which is also divided into 2 parts. Let's see. In lecture 3A, we will be dealing with vowel sounds. The SLO says, use familiar sentence patterns using knowledge of syllables, mark vowel sounds in a word, identify the silent letters, prefixes, suffixes, and root words to decode it, pronounce it correctly, and read fluently. So we will cover these following things in this lecture 3A. Let's see what we are going to do again. We will be seeing syllables. We will mark vowels in a word, identify the silent letters, prefixes, suffixes, and root words to decode it, pronounce it correctly, and also read fluently. So we will be dealing with these things in our lecture 3A. Now, my dear learners, for lecture 3B, we have the topic of comprehending questions. Let's read our students' learning outcome. We have apply strategies to comprehend questions by marking keywords, verbs, and tenses in a variety of literal, textual, or factual questions that require interpretation and personal response. So this is about comprehending questions, and by marking the keywords, we will see that how we will comprehend the questions by marking the keywords, verbs, and tenses in a variety of literal, textual, or factual questions, and it also requires interpretations and personal response. So we will be covering these things in our lecture 3B, which this is very important. So for lecture number 4, we have the topic of asking and answering questions. The SLO is ask and answer questions of personal relevance, information, and variety of communicative purposes. So this will be also about understanding the question and then answering it properly. Lecture number 5, the topic is writing the final draft. So write the final draft after completing editing and proofreading. The SLO that is linked with it is follow the steps of the process approach to plan for writing a paragraph, brainstorming, structuring, mind mapping, using a variety of graphic organizers, free writing, note taking. So these are some techniques. We will be seeing the process approach of writing. It is a systematic approach. We have so many steps to follow. So in that one, we have some techniques in the pre-writing, techniques like brainstorming, mind mapping, graphic organizing, and other things. So we will be seeing these things particularly in our lecture number 5. And this will be ultimately, it will cater you to write a final draft of anything that you're writing, whether it's an essay, a paragraph, or any other assigned topic to write for. So this is all about our lectures. The purpose of this introduction was to familiarize you with the upcoming lectures ahead. Thank you so much for listening and understanding. I'll see you on lecture number 1 of Unit 1. This is your instructor Zia Hamid signing off. Allah Hafiz.